The book of Alma, chapter 30. And it came to pass in the commencement of the 36th year of the reign of the judges over the people of Nepheh, that Shibbolon took possession of those sacred things which had been delivered unto Helaman by Alma. And he was a just man, and he did walk uprightly before God, and he did observe to do good continually, to keep the commandments of the Lord his God, and also did his brother. Now, it is important how things that are used religiously and the texts thereof are shared, even when they're common and not worth much in terms of this world, or don't take much effort to reproduce. And it came to pass that Moroni died also, and thus ended the 36th year of the reign of the judges. And it came to pass that in the 37th year of the reign of the judges there was a large company of men, even to the amount of 5,400 men, with their wives and their children, departed out of the land of Zarahemla into the land which was northward. And it came to pass that Haggoth, he being an exceeding curious man, therefore he went forth and built him an exceeding large ship on the borders of the land Bountiful, by the land Desolation, and launched it forth into the west sea by the narrow neck which led into the land northward. And behold, there were many of the Nephites which did enter therein, and did sail forth with much provisions, and also many women and children, and they took their course northward, and thus ended the 37th year. And in the 38th year this man built other ships, and the first ship did also return, and many more people did enter into it, and they also took much provisions, and set out again to the land northward. Now, I think of the Northwest Passage ideas, right? They thought they could sail in through the Great Lakes and find a passage to the other side. Many of the Nephites who did enter therein an exceeding large ship, he being an exceedingly curious man, therefore he went and built him an exceedingly large ship. And Haggoth reminds me a little bit about the Genti, number 48 in the Goetia. I know there's a letter missing, but sometimes they would enter an N in the middle of things in some languages to make a similar point, or to twist the meaning or something. And it came to pass that they were never heard of more, and we suppose that they were drowned up in the depths of the sea. And it came to pass that one other ship did also sail forth, and whither she did go we know not. And it came to pass that in this year there were many people which went forth into the land northward, and thus ended the 38th year. Were drowned in the depths of the sea many people who went forth. And it came to pass in the 39th year of the reign of the judges, Shibbolon died also, and Corianton had gone forth to the land northward in a ship to carry forth provisions unto the people which had gone forth into that land. Therefore it became expedient for Shibbolon to confer those sacred things before his death upon the son of Helaman, who was called Helaman, being called after the name of his father. Now behold, all those engravings which were in the possession of Helaman were written and sent forth among the children of men throughout all the land, save it were those parts which had been commanded by Alma should not go forth. Nevertheless, these things were to be kept sacred and handed down from one generation to another. Therefore, in this year they had been conferred upon Helaman before the death of Shibbolon. And it came to pass also in this year that there were some dissenters which had gone forth unto the Lamanites, and they were stirred up again to anger against the Nephites, and also in the same year they came down with a numerous army to war against the people of Moronihah, or against the army of Moronihah, in which they were beaten and driven back again to their own land, suffering great loss, and thus ended the 39th year of the reign of the judges over the people of Nepheh, and thus ended the account of Alma, and Helaman his son, and also Shiplon, which was his son. Shiblon, who was his son, and for the next book to be called the Book of Helaman, well, we'll find out how that applies to the thus ended the account of both of them, right? Some dissenters who had gone forth. So, at the very least, we're looking at a different order, right? Well, Alma's plates weren't complete, and Helaman completed, and that's how the story goes. The people who had gone forth, and I myself have been careful about, what's going to be done with the objects that I use religiously. Not that I want to create a cult of personality or that sort of thing. Carefulness of religious books. I did disagree with some people about, well, the mental hospital. It's like, well, those who aren't trusted with items and that sort of stuff, that's the deal. Not everybody in a mental hospital is a filthy person throwing around stuff and whatnot. The idea that maybe they should have religious literature, and maybe that would be the difference between them being crazy or not. Maybe that could be the catalyst, that they find something in life other than just, are you according to the popular or whatever, are you feeling as whatever, if you find a purpose of life beyond that sort of thing, but yeah, it's important not only just for the respect of the things and their use, but the history of things. It can be very important for there to be history of things being handed down. That's why, for example, one has to be careful of tarot cards being handed down or scrying stones or that sort of thing, because find out what's the deal with this person, or do your own dedications, or people buy stuff that has been sanctified before them.